Today I'm going to tell you a story about Penelope Penny Puddlesworth, a poodle with a passion for puddles, a talent for dramatic size, and a belief that she's the star of her own doggy soap opera. Penny wasn't your average poodle. She didn't prance. She dramatically sashayed. She didn't bark. She delivered lines with the gravitas of a Shakespearean actor. And she had a deep, abiding love for puddles. The muddier the better. One rainy afternoon, Penny discovered the ultimate puddle, a glorious, muddy masterpiece in the middle of the park. She gazed at it with the reverence of an art critic admiring a masterpiece. "Oh, the drama," she sighed, her fluffy tail drooping dramatically. She leaped into the puddle, splashing with the enthusiasm of a toddler in a bathtub. She rolled in the mud. She swam in the mud. She even attempted to perform a mud ballet, which resulted in her looking like a furry, brown blob. Max, her human, a boy with a talent for deadpan humor, watched Penny's mud spectacular with a raised eyebrow. "Penny," he said, his voice flat, "you look like a chocolate-covered marshmallow." Penny ignored him. She was lost in her mud-induced reverie. But then disaster struck. She lost her favorite sock, a fluffy, pink sock that she wore as a dramatic scarf. It had been swept away by the muddy currents. "Oh, the tragedy," Penny wailed, her voice echoing through the park. She dramatically collapsed onto the muddy ground, her fluffy tail thumping against the wet grass. Max, rolling his eyes, sighed and began the arduous task of sock retrieval. The sock, after a perilous journey through the muddy depths, was finally rescued. Penny, overjoyed, dramatically embraced the sock, her voice filled with emotion. "My beloved sock, returned from the abyss." Penny, still covered in mud and clutching her sock, decided to investigate the local squirrel population. She'd heard rumors of a squirrel scandal involving stolen acorns and secret nut hoards. She was determined to uncover the truth. She approached a group of squirrels, her head held high, her voice filled with suspicion. "I know you're hiding something," she declared, her fluffy tail twitching dramatically. "Spill the nuts." The squirrels, startled by the mud-covered poodle's dramatic pronouncements, stared at her with wide eyes. One brave squirrel, a tiny, sassy creature named Squeaky, stepped forward. "We're not hiding anything," Squeaky squeaked, her tiny paws on her hips. "We're just trying to survive the winter." Penny narrowed her eyes. "Dramatic sigh," she declared, and then proceeded to unleash a sigh so theatrical it could have won an Oscar. The squirrels, unimpressed, simply rolled their eyes and went back to their acorn gathering. A dramatic sigh-off ensued, with Penny and Squeaky trading sighs of increasing theatricality. The squirrels, however, were unimpressed by Penny's dramatic flair. They preferred practical solutions, like burying their nuts. Max, watching the dramatic sigh-off, couldn't help but chuckle. Penny, covered in mud and looking utterly defeated, dramatically collapsed onto the grass. "Oh, the injustice," she wailed. Despite her puddle and squirrel-related setbacks, Penny had a heart of gold, and she had a particular fondness for hot dogs, the delicious, tube-shaped treats that the mailman sometimes dropped during his deliveries. One sunny afternoon, the mailman arrived, carrying a bag of mail and a hot dog for his lunch. Penny, smelling the delicious treat, decided to become a hero. She would save the mailman from the temptation of the hot dog. She approached the mailman, her head held high, her voice filled with concern. "Oh, the danger," she declared, her fluffy tail drooping dramatically. "That hot dog is a temptation." The mailman, startled by the dramatic poodle's pronouncements, stared at her with wide eyes. He tried to explain that it was his lunch, but Penny, convinced she was saving him from a culinary disaster, ignored him. She dramatically leaped at the hot dog, snatching it from his hand. The mailman, startled, yelped and dropped his mail. Penny, hot dog in mouth, dramatically ran away, leaving a trail of scattered letters and a bewildered mailman in her wake. She then proceeded to share the hot dog with the squirrels, who, despite their earlier dramatic sigh-off, were quite happy to accept the treat. Max, watching the chaos unfold, sighed and began the arduous task of mail retrieval. Penny, surrounded by her squirrel friends and enjoying her stolen hot dog, dramatically declared, "Oh, the triumph!" She was a hero, a dramatic diva, and the most puddle-loving poodle in the whole wide world. If you like this video, please leave a like and a subscribe. It will really help our channel grow. But if you don't like it, then just skip it and don't forget to check out our other videos. Thank you very much and goodbye.